This problem asks us to use the evaluation theorem to express the following integral as a function, and we'll call that function capital F of x. Well, the evaluation theorem is, I guess, just another way to say the fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. We're going to find the antiderivative, or the integral of this function here. We're going to plug in our lower and upper limits, and because one of our limits is a function of x, our final answer will be a function of x. Now, we still haven't formalized an integration process on a function like this. Soon enough we will. We'll be doing something called a u substitution here, but for now we are just playing around. So we just have to ask the question, what function has a derivative that ends up being e to the negative 2t? And you might guess e to the negative 2t, and that is a really good guess, but you'll recall that the chain rule says that we have to multiply this function by a negative 2. We don't want that negative 2 there, so what we can do is just divide both sides of this thing by negative 2, and we get a negative 1/2 right here, which says that the derivative of the function negative 1/2 e to the negative 2t is e to the negative 2t, and that is a true statement. This gives us another true statement that says that the integral of e to the negative 2t dt is negative 1/2 e to the negative 2t plus c. We're going to use this fact in this problem here. You'll notice that we can pull a negative 3 out of the integral. Then we can use this integral that we just found to give us that this result is negative 1/2 e to the negative 2t, and we're going to evaluate that from 3 to x. We should probably do one step of simplification here, and then we can use the fundamental theorem of calculus part 2, which says that we're going to plug in our upper limit of integration first here, meaning we're going to take this x and plug it in for t. Then we subtract and we plug in our lower limit of integration, which was just 3. Now I'm just going to do one step of simplification. And if we wanted to, we could factor a 3/2 out of this. And either of these last two answers is a good answer. I think this one probably looks the best. Okay, and you'll notice that this final answer is a function of x, which is what the problem was asking for. They wanted us to call it capital F of x, and that's our answer.